You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn connects you with experts from all over the world to help you take charge of your career, your business, and your life. Rap along with us. Visit drjacalyn.com to learn how to become a guest or a sponsor. And now, the doctor is in.
Hello and welcome, everyone. It's so good to see you today. This is Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and you are watching or listening to Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents A Better You. Lessons from the best coaches, consultants, and trusted advisors. This is a presentation platform as opposed to an interview platform. Let's meet our experts today. Joining us from New Zealand, it's Mariska Du Preez. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, and I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. And joining us from Texas, it's Red O'Laughlin. Hi, Red.
Howdy.
We've got to stop meeting like this. Red is my book coach, and we're working together all the time. It's good to have you.
Today we're just talking. Other times we're actually working on stuff. So
yes, it's very true. It's very true. And for those of you who don't know, Mariska is my personal coach who helped me make the transition to leave the corporate world and be a broadcast host and producer, director. And now with Red's help, I'm going to be an author. So thank you to both of you.
A number one best-selling author.
That is correct. That's correct. We need all of you out there to help me make that happen by buying advanced copies of the book. And we'll talk about that as we get a little closer to it next week, probably. So let's just share with our audience. This show is to help educate, to help engage, to help motivate, to help train, to help entertain our audience by sharing a lesson, which is 15 minutes in length, to help us be better personally and professionally. And then these lessons will be part of a playlist that will be available for purchase on A Better You University, which we are launching next month. And this platform not only will have lessons, but it'll have quizzes associated with the lessons that content creators like Mariska and Red will put together. And then you can get certified on that lesson. In addition, our platform has gamification, and we will also have a reward and recognition program. Yay! All right. So without further ado, let's have our experts introduce themselves. We'll start with Mariska.
I'm Mariska Du Preez, and I work with individuals that transform or is in the transformation process and in career development. I also have a workshop that I run with one of my co-coaches, and we actually have one coming up on the 26th of April. And the details is below in the banner if you guys would like to register for that.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mariska. And let's have Red tell us who he is and what he's going to be presenting today.
Hi, Red here, Houston, Texas. Today I'm going to be talking about our subconscious mind, the thing that's in control of everything we do and are capable of doing. I'm a best-selling author. I'm a public speaker. I also publish books, and I write on a daily basis. I have, I guess, over 460 some odd days in a row that I've published in my website, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and some other places. So I have constant stuff that I'm putting out there. I research what goes on in the human body at the cellular level. Chemically speaking, I look for cause and effect relationships. Treat a cause, fix a problem. Treat a symptom, you'll always treat it. And that's what I speak about. That's what I write about the most. Today is an area of my life that I was more involved in motivation, self-improvement, self-image, those kinds of things. And then I gradually shifted over into the area of health and wellness, and my specialty is longevity.
Thank you, Red. I don't know who the producer is that didn't change the banner, but that person really needs to Bad, Jackie. Okay, we are going to go to commercial break, but this is hot off the press. We have a partnership and affiliation with Listening to Smile. And since this show is all about how we can be better personally and professionally, I'm going to play their clip, but I'm just going to read a little bit. Attention, entrepreneurs and business owners. Do you understand copyright laws? Did you know that it is illegal and a violation of copyright law to play CDs, iPods, Spotify, Pandora, and other streaming services for your yoga classes, workshops, retreats, private sessions, live events, in your restaurant, in your bar, in your nail salon, wherever it is that you're playing music that is publicly consumable? So this organization, Listening to Smile, not only do they make licensed music, they drop a new album every month, and they also have frequency mindful music that helps you feel better and has healing benefits. So if you reach out to them, Listening to Smile, and you decide to work with them to become an affiliate or to use their music for your own personal consumption, use code RWDJ to get a significant discount, and I'll be streaming that banner. Let's take a look. Listening to Smile, then we'll be right back, and Mariska is going to start our presentation.
The music, services, and programs that we offer at Listening to Smile are based off of scientific studies and research, along with our own personal experiences and testimonials from our clients and our affiliates that we work with worldwide. My own personal journey began in around 2010, and I tried to find relief from a chronic illness that I was diagnosed with. And the traditional ways of healing, they tried to fit me in this box, and that didn't work for me for so many reasons. And this led me to a self-discovery that I never expected to be so life-changing. Healing is multifaceted. It requires us to really look at our whole selves and to get really honest about what we see. I started to see movement towards recovery when I started to integrate yoga into my life daily. When I started to incorporate the music into all aspects of my life, including my yoga practice, my healing completely accelerated. And Listening to Smile's music helped me to open my consciousness. I was able to open my eyes to new perspectives and make changes that I needed to make in order to recover. The most noticeable difference that I saw right away, like immediately after listening to my first frequency track, was how much my anxiety stopped, completely stopped. There was such a relief. My mind was actually quiet for the first time in so many years. I felt safe. I felt this comfort and this peace immediately. I continued to listen daily, and I found that amazing things were happening inside of me. I felt calmer, I felt happier, I felt like I was in this little bubble of peace. Physically, I started to see the changes happening. I started to see the things happening in my body that needed to happen for me to heal from my illness. I felt empowered, I felt hopeful, and something that I hadn't felt in years. This is why we at Listening to Smile integrate yoga and Listening to Smile music together. We see such a huge benefit from integrating the music into other modalities of healing. It accelerates these modalities, it steps them up to another level because it works on the brainwave states and the neural pathways in the brain. This is something that is not very easy for us to do alone at home, but the Listening to Smile music makes that possible. This is where real change happens. This is where the body and the mind sync up and work towards health of the being as a whole. That is true health. And Listening to Smile frequency music will get you there.
We're back. Thanks for taking a look at that clip. And again, if you are playing music that you don't have a commercial license for, why not reach out to Listening to Smile and see what they have to offer? Save yourself fines and also enjoy their music. Mariska, how do you feel about going for your presentation right now?
Well, good. And I'm hoping that our listeners will have a very good experience around what I'm going to share today.
Outstanding. And for those of you out there watching, we are on 5 Facebook pages, only pulling from 1 with people watching. We also have LinkedIn live streaming, YouTube, and Twitter. We also are on Business Talk Radio. So we'd love to hear from you. Please put some comments out there for us for our presentations. Here you go. Mariska, I'm going to spotlight you. Wait for the timer,
Okay.
and I'm going to mute Red and myself. And here you go.
Aha. Okay, so today I just want to get my share screen going, which Jacalyn, I'm not too sure whether we need assistance. There you go. Thank you very much. Okay. So what we're going to do is, this is a goal setting technique that I will take you guys through. And the reason why we have this tranquil picture on there is just to get us into that calm mindset. So if you are moving around, preferably do this exercise a little bit later on. Find a quiet spot where you can sit down and be relaxed and not disturbed for the next 15 minutes. So what I would like you to do is to close your eyes, and then we are just going to get present and nice and calm before we start the exercise. So we're going to first take a couple of deep breaths. So first breath in and out. Another breath in and out. And one last breath in and out. Now what I would like you guys to do next is to think about a goal that you have, something that you want to achieve in the next year. So in 12 months from now, the goal that you want to achieve. So keeping that goal in mind, I want you to visualize a timeline. So this timeline might go to the front of you and the back of you, or to the left and the right, doesn't matter. It might be that the future is to the front and the past to the back, or maybe if you have your timeline going left and right, your left-hand side might be future and then your right-hand side past, or the other way around. You're currently standing on present. So seeing your timeline. Next, what I want you to do is visualize a picture frame in front of you. And in that picture frame, I want you to place your goal. So having achieved the goal, that's what you will see inside the picture frame. And then what we'll do next is we will move our picture frame along our timeline on the present to round about 12 months from now. So see it hovering over your timeline at that spot, and then moving down and clicking into place at the 12-month mark. Okay. Now we have our goal set at the 12-month mark. We're going to move towards it. And looking into your picture frame, you'll see it's a little movie playing. And I want you to step into that picture frame and actually experience that movie that's playing for you. So say, for instance, the goal for in a year from now is to have your own book released. You will see your physical book in your hand. You will be able to smell the pages. You will be able to feel the texture of the book. You will be able to experience the environment around you. Maybe you are in a coffee shop and you can really, really smell the coffee. So whatever the goal is that you have, I want you to really experience having achieved this goal. So look at, what are you seeing around you? What is it that you are feeling? What is it that you might be smelling? Is it that you are inside or outside? Where are you? Who else is around you? Is there other people around you, or are you in nature? Where are you finding yourself? What other senses can you employ to really experience having achieved that goal? And then, of course, what feelings are you feeling inside? Are you happy, elated, really proud? What feelings are coming up? And just being aware of your body. How are you holding your body? Is your shoulders back and your chest all proud and a little bit forward? And you're holding your head up high? How are you standing or sitting? Really feel that in your body. And feel where the feelings are coming up in your body. Is it more towards your heart center area or more in your head? Where is it coming up? It might even be that it's in your spine. You feel your spine being really, really straight. So now that we have this vision of having achieved this goal, feeling really good about it, what I want you to do next is step back by 6 months. So when we step back, I want you to think, what's happening around this time period? What are you seeing happening around you? Who are you interacting with? Who might you be talking to that's helping you in your process? How are you feeling? Again, is it that you're feeling really busy? Or are you worried about stuff? Is it that you feel like you're running around and not getting everything done that you want done? What's happening inside of you? And then also, what is happening outside of you? Who are you looking for to maybe be a resource to help you and guide you on what you should do to get your book published or to achieve that goal that you want to achieve? Who's supporting you? Who's your cheerleaders? And who's helping you to keep your feet on the ground? Reminding you of the pitfalls that might come along and that you need to look out for. I also want you to have a look and see, what is it that you need to do at this point that would bring you to your goal in 12 months from now? What work do you need to put in? What's the 3 most important things? Now that we have that vision, I want you guys to step back another 6 months. So we're standing at present. And at the moment, what is it that needs doing for you to be able to get to your 6-month point? So think about those, the most important things that needs to happen for you to move from where you are now to your 6-month point that will enable you to move again to your 12-month point, achieving that goal. Who's the people you need to talk to? Who can you reach out to? What resources may you use? So this can be any resources. This might be training material, podcasts, specific areas that you need to look into to help you go towards your goal. Also, what is happening inside of you? How are you feeling about it? Is there stuff that you are a little bit worried about? Maybe you need to do a little bit more research on it. Is there stuff that you're really excited about? So what is happening for you there? Now that we have a good idea of what we have to do now at present to move us to our 6 months, and then from our 6 months to our year, what I want you to do is look back at your year and see where you've accomplished your goal. And I want you to really feel that accomplishment and really get energized by it. And then when you have that feeling at its peak, I want you to keep that in mind throughout the process of going towards this goal that you've envisioned today with us. Then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And then next, what I would like you guys to do is get a piece of paper and a pen, somewhere where you can lay out for yourself all the things that in our mind's eye we just went through. So all the areas that you saw yourself doing well as the areas where you saw there might be barriers or there might be some additional work that you need to do. Write them down. So write down your achievement of goal, what you felt, what you experienced, that feeling, really try to capture that. And then on your 6 months and your present, also write down all the steps that you took to get there, the people that you spoke to, the resources that you might use, and the things that might get in your way. So that would be a little bit of a roadmap for you now to be able to work towards the goal that you have. And I would love to hear from you guys as to how you have experienced this. And I'm hoping that in 12 months from now, I will have so many emails of everybody telling me that they have their goal achieved. So I'm really looking forward to that bit of it. And Jacalyn, that's me.
Hello, hello. Okay. That was a great job. And you finished a little bit early. Beautiful.
I did.
Nice, nice. I feel very relaxed from that. So we are going to take a Red. I've you muted. I'm sorry. We are going to take a break and hear from our sponsors. And then when we come back, we'll have a conversation. Red and I will weigh in on our thoughts about the presentation and maybe what our goals were that we were thinking about while you were guiding us through that lovely lesson. All right. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Here we go. Stay with us here on A Better You.
Hey everybody, my name is Ralph Graves Jr. I'm the host of the Ralph Graves Jr. Show, and I want to invite you to pick up my book, Unstoppable. I wrote a book called Unstoppable. It's 7 universal laws that will transform how you pursue and achieve success. The one thing that my 20 years of law enforcement has taught me is that no matter who you are, we are all governed by universal laws, like gravity. But in this book, we're going to talk about laws like the law of forgiveness, laws like the law of control, the law of intelligent practice, the law of expectancy. I was able to see how those, no matter what their background was, those who identified and treated these laws with respect, they were able to go on and lead successful lives. So pick up this book, and you can go ahead and pick it up at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, RalphGravesJr.com, where anywhere where fine books are sold. Thank you.
There are 7.7 billion people on Earth today. 40% of these people are under the age of 25. Young adults are the most fertile mission field in the world today. In Scripture, we see Jesus pouring his life into 12 young adults who he equipped to change the world and all of history. Like Jesus, we believe that the best approach to reach the world with the gospel is to invest in young, emerging leaders and equip them to build disciple-making movements. Concentric is the notion of surrounding and sharing a common center. Our center is the model and strategy of Jesus for both leadership development and ministry formation. As a global alliance, we provide equipping in biblical leadership based on Jesus' example in the New Testament. Jesus modeled for us how to make disciples that reproduce. Focusing on leadership development is key to creating movements that spread the gospel and Jesus' disciple-making strategy to young leaders around the globe. Our ministry alliance partners are actively equipping leaders and building movements of multiplication that reproduce the life of Christ. Join us today to equip young leaders with Jesus' strategy that will change cities and nations.
The session that we had with BCAT was really entertaining and enlightening. We were able to put together some very specific steps that we as individuals can take, and it was really fun to all come together and see sort of where we're going as a team and how we can all get there together.
We had a tremendous experience with the BCAT partners. One of the challenges that we have as an organization is to make sure that we have the right people in the right chairs doing the right thing. To do that well, you have to have synergy. You can try to dream up ways to make sure that your group does that, or you can rely on experts. We would recommend BCAT partners to anybody who's looking to take their organization to the next level.
Academy Sedan and Limo is a full-service transportation company serving the Philadelphia metropolitan area with full knowledge of the New York City, Baltimore, and Washington, D.C. areas. We pride ourselves on being the most dependable, conscientious company in the industry. Our always on-time service and dependable pricing make us the company to call for any event or occasion. Our vehicles can accommodate any size party for any occasion. Our vehicles range from four-door sedans to SUVs to minivans to limo buses to full-size tour buses and can accommodate groups of 2 to 100. We offer airport shuttle service or over-the-road service without limitation regarding mileage or time, and no drive is too long or too far. So if you find yourself in need of transportation of any type with any vehicle, give us a call at 610-842-4564 and let us show you what a real transportation company can do for you.
Use code ACADEMY2020 to receive 20% off your first 3 rides, including parking and tolls.
You're listening to Business Talk Radio, where we take business to the next level.
Hey, guess what? We're back. We're here on A Better You, live on Business Talk Radio and social media. I'm your host and executive producer. And we are, my experts today are Mariska and Red. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. So,
Great to be here today.
Yes, and we just heard a great presentation from Mariska. Red, do you want to go first, or would you like me?
I'll let Mariska go first last time, so I guess I'm obligated to go first this time.
Okay.
So, great visual. I love the rocks aligned like that with the pond in the background. I thought your pace was perfect. The pauses in between, really, we just kept going down the line. Very calm voice. The volume, I think, was just perfect for what you were trying to get across to the audience. Very clear. There was nothing in there I did not understand that you wanted me to do. I thought that your use of senses, the smell and everything, what you're feeling, also added to the experience that we were having rather than just thinking. We're adding more to it to kind of cement that. And interestingly enough, I'm going to be talking a little bit about that also in a minute or two. I really love the accent because of the pacing and the pauses you have, it sounds professorial, that I'm listening to something that has a lot of authority with it. You gave us a lot of suggestions at various places along the way, different steps, so that we knew what to focus on and what to be real clear about. And more than anything else, the roadmap, the path you gave us, the whole time I just felt comfortable. And I think that was because of the way you made the presentation.
Thank you, Red.
Mariska, any other feedback for Red?
Well, I'm glad to hear that this is also going into what you're presenting today. It seems like we are of the same mind each time that we present.
I didn't realize that I was in a presentation this morning. I did an interview with a guy, but then I was in another one where I gave a presentation to a Chamber of Commerce, and the main keynote speaker and I literally had a lot of the same thoughts. So today is a banner day for me because everybody's reinforcing everything I'm saying.
Channeling the same frequency. I like it.
Yeah, a different way of saying it, but the same thing. The core value of it.
And it's obviously a very important lesson that we're going to hear some aspects of it twice, which I love. So thank you for that, Red. Mariska, I love that you start with the breathing exercise because even though we feel like we're calm, just when I started breathing, I was like, oh, my shoulders are way up here. Like you don't realize how much tension you have on a regular basis. So I think if we did breathing exercises before every meeting, every encounter, it would really help. So I really like that. I love the visualization because I imagined that I was somewhere, maybe there was a stream flowing by, maybe there's some butterflies, but it was just, I felt like very peaceful. And then as you walked us through the exercise and I had my eyes closed, I imagined, a year from now, and I thought, what is it that I want to have accomplished in a year from now? And I thought, I want a Better You University to be a global platform with tens of thousands of content creators on there. And then I liked how you had the picture frame and I could step into the picture frame and it's locked in place in that year. And as you go closer and closer to that time, who's there helping me? And I was envisioning you guys helping me helping you, some new people joining us. And I just love the whole experience. So it actually was a good lesson for me with a real goal that I have. So thank you for that.
It is my pleasure. And I'm glad to hear that you have both the breathing and calming. I do find that normally we rush more than we think. And by just going a little bit slower, we are able to go faster. So just slowing ourselves down a bit, we can actually envision where we're going and then do the hard work of going there. Because, well, as you guys know, having a goal is one thing, but actually implementing and getting to it's quite another.
This is definitely true. Just a personal share. So before my show, the first show on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I work out and I'll say to myself, you need 45 minutes to get ready, but I really don't need 45 minutes. I need like an hour and 10 minutes because in between I'm doing work, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So today I had to put this giant screen up with all these lights because I take it down on Friday. I was riding my bike anyway, took a shower and I'm like, I can't believe it. I have to, and it's like pressure, but I do it to myself every single time. It's like, why do I keep doing it? Because so part of what I'm saying is that when you have a goal, like if my goal is I have to be sitting at this desk at a certain time, I need to walk backwards from that and realize what time should you realistically be starting to prepare so that you don't have all that anxiety and pressure when you're sitting here and your shoulders are all the way up and you're like, so another good lesson for me to learn. All right. Anything else you want to say, Mariska?
No. Well, I do hope that I get some feedback in a year from now on what has been envisioned. I find that that's normally the most exciting bit. I mean, it's all good to set all these things up, but it's so much better to actually see the thing that you envisioned physically there. So I would love to hear from our audience. And Jacalyn, I'm going to keep you to it too.
Absolutely. You know, I will stay on top of it. And for people listening on Business Talk Radio, the way you can reach Mariska is through her website or through her email. Email. So it's her first name, Mariska, at Journey, Journey, the number 2, discover.com. She also has a workshop coming up, and you can email. Is it email coaching with?
They can register on the website Coaching with Kira, or otherwise they can email me and register that way.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Okay, Red, would you like us to take a commercial break, or are you ready to go?
Whatever your show normally does. I'm ready right now. If you're ready right now.
I'm ready. You're ready. I'm ready. Mariska's ready. So let's take it away. I'll spotlight you. Wait until I get the 15-minute counter, if you would, please. And then I will mute Mariska and I. Okay, here you go.
Hi, Red here. I wrote this book called No Matter What, You Can Do It. And most of what I'm talking about today is going to come essentially from the framework of that book. I titled my book, How to Talk to Your Brain to Overcome Failure. And it's not necessarily failure. A lot of times what we have is we want to make a change in our life, and the change we want to make doesn't always happen the way we want. And why does that happen? Because a lot of times we don't know how to talk to our brain. Failure happens to all of us. It doesn't matter. But the big thing is most of us can learn from those mistakes and succeed down the road. So when we're looking at change, you have to look at 2 different parts of your brain. You have the conscious part of the brain we think with all the time, and that's the only part that we're really probably ever aware of. But we have a subconscious part of our brain that's in control of everything we do 24/7. It has a prime directive. It's there. It's there to protect you. It doesn't want to have any harm come to you in any way, shape, or form. You might think about the time, okay, you burn your hand on a stove. Hey, that was hot. You don't do it again. That's a lesson learned. But when we look at failures, sometimes it's a double-edged sword, because as your brain starts accumulating a history of behavior and results, sometimes you do something, let's say you try to lose weight. Well, once or twice, failing at it, probably not a big deal. You do it enough times and fail at it, pretty soon the brain's going to say, you know, you've tried this before and you failed. You're going to fail again. I'm not going to let you do what you want to do. I don't want to see that failure. So it doesn't want you to succeed. It's going to push you right back where you were. But we'll talk about a way of getting around that one. There's a story about a young man who wanted to succeed. He's going around talking to a lot of the gurus at the time, and they pointed him down the road to an old man who they had learned from many years previous. And he managed to find this guy's house outside of town, knocked on the front door several times, nothing happened. He walked around, and there was an old gentleman sitting on a large rock looking out over a small lake. And he shouted at him, and nothing happened. He started walking up, called out a couple more times. Pretty soon, he was literally standing next to the guy. And the older gentleman looked up and started a conversation. The young guy said, I came here to consult with you to find out, what do I have to do to be successful in life? And the older gentleman says, yes, I can help you. He says, look down there in the water. You see that dark pebble right there? And the young guy said, yeah, I see it. And he says, go down, look at it real close. And so he gets on his hands and knees and he's looking at it. You see that little thing just to the north of it, just above it? He says, no. He says, look closer. As soon as he's getting down there, the old man pushes his head in the water and holds it there. And he starts thrashing about. And after a while, he almost starts to stop thrashing, and the old man lifts his head out of the water. He says, if you put that much effort into anything you want to do in your world, in your life, you'll be successful. And what happens is we apply an emotional technique to our brain. We attach it. Morris Massey's a person that I followed from a long time ago. He started back in the 70s. He had a videotape series. The very first one was called You Are What You Were When. But he coined this term significant emotional event. And this event is something that happens to you that you will make an immediate change because you do not want to have that happen again. It might be you survived a car wreck. It might be your uncle died of cancer from smoking cigarettes. It could be another thing. If you have a significant emotional event, and the key word is emotion, that is the thing that makes the change. Tony Robbins wrote a book called Awaken the Giants Within. He talks about change happening because we want less pain or more pleasure in our life. However, we can make changes with those things, but they're not necessarily long lasting. We need something to have a long range focus and a commitment. And we think about, oh, I can mind over matter. Well, that's what I call my no matter what, because you can actually use those words, no matter what, in part of what you're doing, you're talking to your brain to tell it, hey, this is extra important to me. Tiger Woods back in 2008 was playing in the 108th U.S. Open. I believe that's Torrey Pines. Anyway, he had some really bad legs, torn anterior cruciate ligament, couple knee stress fractures. Anyway, lots of problems. And doctor says, you can go play, but it's not going to get any better. You can't hurt it anymore, but it's going to be painful. Anyway, he told the doctor, I'm going to play and I'm going to win no matter what. And he did. That's fairly soon we think about that. But if you think back to 1950, 5-0, there was this miracle at Marion. And that was the U.S. Open golf tournament there at Marion, just Ardmore, Pennsylvania, I think. And Ben Hogan ended up in an 18-hole playoff. Well, 16 months to that event, he was in a car wreck. A Greyhound bus and him met head on the freeway. He barely survived. The doctors didn't expect him to live, never expected him to walk. In 16 months, he won that golf tournament. He made that no matter what decision, his mind over whatever, to go out and do it. So what are we talking about? We're taking something that's super important to us, and we're attaching emotion. When you attach emotion, that is something that goes right to the front of the brain and stays there. We have to-do lists, and sometimes it might be better to call it a promise list, because promises are processed differently than goals and to-dos. And rather than X out or check off or mark through, maybe go ahead and write at the end of your to-do, your promise, victory. Again, you're seeing a different perspective on that thing. Alice in Wonderland, Alice is talking to the Cheshire Cat. She's there at a crossroads, and she asks the cat, which way should I go? And the cat said to Alice, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. And that's kind of like we are most of the time. We don't know where we want to go, or we don't have it very clearly defined. The typical 18-year-old has been told no 80,000 times by the time he turns 20. 80% of our programming is all negative. When you start having so much negativity in our lives, our brains are programmed not to expand, not to grow. But we need to start doing that programming for the positivity. Obviously, that starts with written goals. We've heard so many times about how much more important it is for the written goal. But your written goal is okay, but you also want to think about it, talk about it, hear about it, do it longhand. You want to connect as many of the senses to those goals as you can. You don't want others to set goals for you. You want something that intrinsically comes out of yourself. There's a lot of things that are out there. One of the first books I ever read on self-improvement was done by Dr. Maxwell Maltz, 1960, and it's called Psychocybernetics. He was a plastic surgeon, and one of the things he found out was that he could fix people's faces from scars and whatever it was, and 19 out of 20 people had no problem. They were instantly happy. But some of the people, no matter how good they looked, still saw the scars. Their self-image of themselves never changed, even though their visual appearance changed. And so he started doing a lot of in-depth study into why that is. But you can actually change your perceptions in 21 to 30 days, and it's your self-image. That's the part that destroys most people, because we have an image of ourselves that's not real. Well, it's real to us, but it's not the real image that we should have. A lot of times it's our self-talk. In other words, let's say that you take a test and you fail. Some people automatically jump on the bandwagon. I'm a failure. Other people will take the objective part. I failed a test. That's a fact. But when you start self-talking is I'm a failure, that's processed totally different in your subconscious mind, and that becomes a problem. Your self-image is literally the control of your life. Your subconscious mind works in two areas. One where you know the goal and how to get there, and the other one when you know the goal, but you don't know how to get there. And that becomes really important to be using the word how to. And I'll cover that just a little bit more in detail here shortly. But our subconscious mind makes incremental changes about the things that we're doing. Think about driving a car. We don't think about keeping it dead center in the road. Think about typing. Think about a lot of things that we do that we're on automatic pilot. Well, the same thing happens when we start talking about our goals. Sometimes we have a temporary deviation where we fail to something, but in reality, it's a temporary, it's a fact that happened. Get over it, move on to the next one. Napoleon said, imagination rules the world. Well, Dr. Maltz tells us that the picture that we paint for ourselves determines how we're going to achieve it. So our self-image is built on a lot of stuff that we see about ourselves that may or may not be the real world. If we see ourselves as defeated, that's what the end product's going to be. That's our expectation. Pay attention to that word expectation, because I'm going to bring it back later. But if we imagine the success, we're also going to see that too. Dr. Lee Pullis is a psychologist. He studies a lot of brain, human mind and stuff. At birth, kids are born with 120 billion, B with the B, billion active neurons in their brain. As we get older, we lose some of them. But the neurons are for our conscious brain and our subconscious. In 1 second, we're using about 2,000 neurons for our conscious thinking. However, our subconscious mind is using 4 billion. Every neuron has some connection with what we're doing. So your subconscious mind is in charge of everything. I like this guy, Vince Placenti. He's a great motivational coach. He wrote a book called The Ant and the Elephant. If you imagine an ant on the back of an elephant, the ant is your conscious mind. The elephant is your subconscious mind. The ant can't speak elephant, and the elephant can't speak ant. They don't talk to each other. But the ant may say, I want to go west. The elephant's going east. Whether the ant wants to go that way or not, doesn't matter. So you got to learn how to talk to your subconscious mind. And those are the things that are really important. That's the I'm a failure versus I failed the test. Objective things happen. So as we're going through things, we have a lot of things we can do. We don't want to overload our mind with a lot of things that are erroneous. How do we spend our time? As we're sitting on a couch watching a TV, is that where real value is added to our time? My mentor, Myron Golden, years ago said, if you're not making $30,000 a month, don't even have a TV set. Because he says there's too many other things you can be doing. But regardless, we get into comfort zones. We have our friends, our leisure time, our likes, our priorities, what we do, just so many things. Social media nowadays. But a lot of that stuff may be holding us back. We hear periodically that we're the average of the 5 or 10 closest people that we know. Whatever they do, we do. Whatever amount of money they make, we're probably pretty close to it. But those are the things that are impacting our life. And if it's impacting it negatively or just keeping us stuck where we are, we need to avoid them. Sometimes you need to change your friends. And that's one of those things you have to come to grips with. We need to view our failures objectively. Okay, fine, I didn't get that done in time. Well, maybe it's not, I can't find the time to do it. Use the subconscious mind to say, how can I find the time? If I can't afford something because I really need it for my job or for something else, don't think about I can't afford it. Think about how can I afford it? Now you're using the subconscious mind. How can I do this? I find when I'm out running, that's the easiest way for that subconscious mind to come in and out of that how-to question. If you're driving on the freeway and you kind of get locked in auto mode, autopilot, that subconscious mind will come in and out of a lot of problem solving. So you can do a lot of things that add value to your time. But your core belief, the things that you believe in, is formed by an emotional stockpile of data, some of which may be true, may not be true, but it's what you were told that becomes your truth. Money's the root of all evil. Money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford it. Math is hard. I can't speak in public. A lot of things that we were fed and our brains believe, that's our self-image of ourselves, that may not be true, but we have made it true. So when you're looking at the crux of any situation, your subconscious mind has to be your focus of what you want. So if you're doing affirmations, the subconscious mind must operate in present tense, must be personal, and it must be positive. Subconscious mind doesn't understand negatives, has no concept of what a negative is, has no concept of what the future is. If you're going to do something, that's fine, but it's like talking to the ant. It doesn't understand. So you need to visualize and add emotion to what you're doing. I use the example when you ride a bicycle. If you ever rode one as a kid, think about riding the bicycle barefoot. And when you're riding the barefoot, what happens if your toes come down and hit the concrete? All of a sudden, that hurts. That's the kind of emotion that you want to attach to something you really want to do. Vince Vicente used to use these little stickers, and he put them on the windows, his car, doors, everywhere. Every time he saw one, he visualized himself at the Olympics winning the gold medal. He felt it, he smelled it, he breathed it. Those are the things you need to do in order to offset all of those things you have in your brain that happened, that now you can visualize a whole bunch of things that didn't happen, but that's what you want to happen. Whether it's weight loss or anything else, it doesn't matter. Let me leave you 2 quick thoughts. Wants and needs, talk to the conscious brain. Expectations, expecting. Intending, those talk to the subconscious mind. So if you want to make your affirmations more powerful, expect and intend whatever it is, no matter what. Correct. You're muted, Dr. Jacalyn.
Thank you. I said, great job. I said, the Toastmaster is in the house. So that was fantastic. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll come back and discuss Red's presentation. All right, Mariska?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're going to actually play the clip from my partner, Alcini, about this platform, A Better You. Let's take a look. We'll be right back. Hello, I'm Dr. Jacalyn. Rapping with Dr. Jacalyn presents A Better You. And here to tell us more is the creator of A Better You, Alcini. Al, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. It's always a pleasure working with you and everyone out there. You know, you might be a coach working with individuals professionally or personally, or you might be a consultant working with businesses, or you might be a trusted advisor specializing in an area like finance, let's say, or the law or healthcare. Whatever of those roles you relate to, you all have one thing in common, and that is you're working every day to help people become better versions of themselves, a better you. And Dr. Jacalyn's A Better You program is an opportunity for you to express your expertise in a particular area for 15 minutes in front of an audience of people who are looking for help from people like you.
Yep.
So, Dr. Jacalyn, maybe you can tell everybody how they can learn more about this.
It's so easy. You go to abetteryou.tv and you sign up to book your session. And in case you didn't know it, that's the show that you're on right now, A Better You. So we just watched 2 experts present lessons that are so important. So Mariska, I'll let you go first. What's your feedback for Red?
Red, I love the stories. I loved how you made it come alive by showing examples and telling those stories. That was really, really great. And the present personal positive, I love that. I really do, because our brain doesn't understand not. So if we put not in front of anything, the brain actually listens to the thing, not the not.
Yeah, I'm not going to have a piece of cake. You know, I'm not
Exactly.
going to have seconds.
So you are going to have seconds and a piece of cake. So the brain is a really interesting thing, and it's so valuable to understand how it understands, because then we can actually almost program it correctly. It's a bit of a computer, so why not? The other thing that I think your closing remarks, those 2 points, the expect and intend for the conscious brain, and I love the little visual of the elephant and the ant.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I can see that not working. No wonder you think, oh, I'm going to go in this direction, and then you end up going that direction, because it wasn't the ant that was in control.
Right.
So really, really love that. I loved your pacing. There's so much information. I have 2 whole pages written full of everything. I hope the rest of our listeners had time to take notes, because it's so good. And there's a lot of stuff that I can actually implement myself. So yay, thank you.
Bravo. Red, any feedback for Mariska?
This was actually, Psycho-Cybernetics was the very first book I ever did for my own personal self-improvement. I had been doing a lot of training at companies, military, all over, how to be a better employee, a better manager, a better supervisor, a better budgeter, whatever it was always for the company. All of a sudden I got involved in self-improvement, self-motivation, and I read a book a week for about 3.5 years on some aspects of that. And as I was doing that, like I say, Psycho-Cybernetics was the first, and I wrote my first book, No Matter What. Then I wrote another one, Failure is Not an Option. But I was speaking in front of crowds, talking about these kinds of things and selling my books and my CDs in the back of the room. So this is something that 10 years ago I was doing routinely. But nowadays, all my whole focus is on health and wellness because that's really where my passion's at. But it's still something that if we don't know how to talk to our brains, we're not going to be able to quickly make the changes we want to make as successfully as we want to make them. We talk about weight loss. Well, I'm going to go on a diet. Well, maybe what you might want to do is I expect to manage my weight better is a different way of talking. The brain doesn't know what that means, as opposed to I'm going to go on a diet. So there's different words you can use that will achieve the same thing. And regardless of what that change is that you want in your life that you may not have been able to achieve, there are ways of being able to talk to the brain. And especially if I have a real hard problem trying to figure out how to do something, when I'm going to bed at night, I say, how can I, how will I? And I just let my brain wander through the night. And I can't believe the number of times within literally a day or two, I have a solution. I have more than one solution because the brain loves to solve the problem. Just give it time.
Beautiful. Thank you. We have Dr. Z in the house. Hi, Dr. Z. She writes, Dr. J, you rock. Excellent topic. And she also writes, words matter. Exactly. Dr. Z, it's good to have you with us. If you have any more comments, I'd certainly love to read them out as well as from anyone else. Red, I wanted to share with you that, of course, every time you present, it's like being on, the Broadway stage or being there right there at the Emmy Awards. So you do a wonderful job. You're obviously very talented and seasoned when it comes to presenting. And I love the whole topic of the subconscious because, my thing is I always tell myself that I'm fat. I've been doing it my whole life. It's like, I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what it looks like. I always see myself as fat. And I've constantly tried to tell myself to stop beating myself up like that because it's not healthy and I'm aware of it. So I find that outside of that, because that's my issue, that other things I am definitely able to put positive energy to, and then lo and behold, they happen. It's amazing. And I shared with you, I was having an issue with my website going over to WordPress, and I was up at 2:30 in the morning thinking, what's going to happen? I was getting really upset. And I said to myself, put it in your subconscious that you will come up with a solution. Don't rely on someone else. You come up with a solution. And lo and behold, I implemented the solution this morning or yesterday, whenever it was.
Isn't that what your book's about?
Yes, that is exactly what my book is about. Thank you. Thank you. So we are at the top of our show, but I just wanted to remind people who are watching and people who are listening that these two folks on the show, I personally work with them. I can personally attest to their professionalism and the fact that you will get results, the fact that they do care, they do go above and beyond. So I hope that you will reach out and work with them, hire them. Mariska is a certified ACC coach, and she also has workshops going on. She does a phenomenal job. She is the person who helped me put together a plan over 9 months with plan A, B, and C to leave my corporate job and to be where I am today. Dr. Z writes, yes, can't wait for your book. Yay, Dr. Z. Thank you. Red is my book coach, and he has been with me step by step. He's got a unique process that he uses that instead of it taking years to get a book published. Red, when did we start? Was it January or February?
I think it was either late January, early February. It's only been a couple of months.
Yeah, it's been a couple of months.
And we're literally on the cusp of pushing the button to publish.
Exactly. We want to get a little marketing going so we can be what is it? A best-selling author. Yes.
Number one best-selling author.
Number one best-selling author. So I'm going to run your banners again because again, I'm telling you, these two people are the best. And I think you should owe it to yourself to reach out to them, see what it is they offer and how they can work with you to help you achieve your goals. So there's Mariska, why don't you just tell us the information again for people listening on the radio?
Okay, you guys can get hold of me at Mariska, that's spelled Mariska, at journey 2, so the number 2, discover.com. And for the workshop, you can go to Coaching with Kira. Kira is spelled Ciari, sorry.
Ciari.
And there you go. And you can register for the workshop.
Fantastic. And Kira is the Kira that I know, right?
Yes, Kira's the Kira that you know. And we're running the workshop together.
Congratulations. That's outstanding. She's terrific too. Red, how can people get in touch with you?
The easiest way is just call me on the phone, 281-687-1188. 281-687-1188. Red.O'Laughlin, that's OLAUGHLIN, @gmail will get me there. If you're interested in really wanting to know why things work in the human body, what the causes of things are, I have a daily one I haven't missed now in 460 some days. Just go to my website, redolaughlin.com. No dots in the middle, just red, R-E-D, like the color, my hair. Red O'Laughlin, OLAUGHLIN.com. And there's a place to sign up for my newsletter, but my newsletter is basically every single day I send out a new link to something that I've written about.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I just want to give a plug for a room that I'm moderating this evening on Clubhouse. It is Connect and Mingle, Meet and Greet. And I'm working with John Cataldi from House Radio over on Clubhouse. And we also have live piano music from Lori Ann Speed. So she's joining us from Vancouver. So the way the room's going to work is we're only going to do the room for about an hour and a half. We're going to play music, maybe 2 songs. Then we will ask 2 or 3 people from the audience to do a 30-second intro. Maybe it's what we see in your bio. Maybe you have an ask, maybe you have a give, or maybe you want to tell us something that we can't find out in your bio that's about you. And then we will have Lori Ann play live piano music, which she is phenomenal. So that's at 8 o'clock. Connect and Mingle, Meet and Greet. Join us there. Last thing I want to say is that we have some exciting new shows coming up. Yes, tomorrow is our first new show for this week. It's called It's Your Stage. This is an opportunity for you to perform whatever it is you do. If you're an author, you can read to us for 32 minutes. If you play the piano, 32 minutes you get to play. If you juggle, you're a magician, belly dance, hula hoop, whatever it is, it's your stage. So that's tomorrow at 12:30. And my co-host is Azadeh. She is the Silly Singer. That's her name, Silly Singer. She sings anytime and anywhere, and she's joining us from Paris. Our other new shows are the Royally Rich Great Britain edition with the legend, the London commentator, London photographer for the British royal family, Ian Pelham Turner. He joins us in a new show starting next Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And also starting next week is In the Name of Love with Kimmy Seltzer. And she is an expert matchmaker. She is a person who helps specialize in your rebranding, redressing, maybe image consultants. So we have a show together, and that is at 7 p.m. on Thursday nights. So thank you for listening. We've got 3 great shows tomorrow. We've got I told you It's Your Stage. Then we've got 4 shows tomorrow. I'm busy. Okay. Then we've got A Better You at 2 o'clock. Then we've got It's All About Dating with Lisa Manioki at 4 o'clock Eastern. And then we have A Better You at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Woo, that is a lot. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. I'll let everybody go. I've got to jump over to a lunch club meeting. So it was great seeing you. And thanks for being here, my friends. I'll talk to you later. Adios.
Bye.